record. Oh, good afternoon. My name is Lorraine, and we're here at our wellness gathering again, and we're continuing to take ownership of our well-being mindset with the principles of core alignment. And today we're going to be focusing on the letter H for humor or humorous. And our facilitator is Lynn Hilderman, a specialist in core alignment clearing and coaching. So Lynn, I'll pass it on to you.
All right, thank you.
Oh, there's Dawn Marie.
Okay, cool.
Dawn Marie is just
welcome. Yes, we're going to be looking at humor and how it plays into our health and our wellness and bringing some lightness to life. And so the question that we're going to start with today is, what type of game do you like to play? So my name is Lynn and I'm in Calgary, Alberta, and a game that I like to play. Well, right now I really like to play card games. We have some simple, well, maybe not so simple card games that we play as a family when the kids are over for dinner. And it's become more fun because now kids are bringing partners or significant others that they are liking to spend time with. So the table's getting a little bigger, but we play a very simple card game called, well, we call it Bugger Your Neighbor. And it's a memory game. And it's really fun because you have to get rid of your cards, but it's fun because if you pick up a jack, you get to mess up somebody's cards, and it's a memory game. So it really shows that it doesn't matter how old you are, remembering cards and which ones you've looked at or which ones you haven't, it really doesn't matter your age. So anyways, it's a game that I like to play. So Janet, say your name, say where you are.
My name is Janet. I'm in Calgary, and a game that I love to play is Words with Friends on my cell phone. And I started playing actually 10 years ago. It'll be 10 years this fall. And there are people that, it was just random people that I connected with. I don't really play with anybody that I know, although I have on a couple occasions. And these people are situated in between, I have one actually in Edmonton, a couple in Australia, Britain, a few in the States, and some of them I've actually become friendly with. We've exchanged photos, and there's a little chat component with it, and it's just another little community, and there's a lot of fun, there's a lot of joy. It's sort of kibitzing back and forth, but it's not done with any set timeline. It's just sort of willy-nilly. I have a tendency to play, and it's a nice distraction for me to, sort of interrupt the pain patterns. But I just think it's a really, really cool way. And the fact that I've been playing with some of these people for almost 10 years.
Wow.
And most of them I've been playing with probably for at least 7 or 5. Like it kind of blows my mind.
That's cool. Cool. Olive, do you want to go next?
I play Words with Friends too, but for a while I quit playing because it became a scam site where there were random people from who knows where claiming they were a widower and they had a child to support, and could you send money, and could you send gift cards, all sorts of things. So I kind of backed off from that. I think they've got it cleaned up now, but it was so I like to play real Scrabble with real people.
Thank you. Dawn Marie, say your name, say where you are, and tell us a game that you like to play.
Well, I'm Dawn Marie, and I am from Sacramento, California, and I really don't play many games, but there is one that I try to keep around called Jenga, where you build and you pull out the pieces. And, I guess really the last time I remember playing it was with my granddaughter, and to see her laughing as I, pulled out the wrong little block and everything came tumbling down. So I would have to say Jenga.
Awesome. Awesome. Cool. Lorraine?
Okay, I'm Lorraine. I'm from Sawyers, British Columbia, and the game that I play an awful lot of is solitaire on the computer. I can watch a movie and play solitaire quite easily. But one game I played with people is I used to play a lot of bridge. I wasn't a very good bridge player, but I really enjoyed learning and challenging my bridge player. But speaking of playing games with my granddaughter, I remember playing Bonko or one of the games that Nikki was playing, and she was little and she was changing the rules, and I didn't know the
Skibble.
rules. Kibble, and she was changing the rules, and I said, well, that wasn't the rule the last time you said, and I got really mad at her. I just walked away from the game. I said, I'm not playing with you. You changed the rules too much. I'd hurt my ego.
Yeah. Well, games can come in many flavors, and it's nice to have games that, well, I like games that kind of support everybody in playing. And I like games that do somewhat change. And so there's lots of games like that. And it's interesting just hearing what how most of the games have this element of things, crumbling and then building up and then crumbling. So we're going to look at bringing humor to our health and our wellness. And I picked that question because I think often in life, the games that we play help to bring more lightness into life and bring more humor into our life. So what does fun mean to you when you think of playing games and you think of your health and your wellness? And what do you think when I say the word fun? Dawn Marie?
Well, I guess there's this movie that, I can watch it 50 million times and still feel hilarious when I watch it. And it's it's called Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. And that movie, I'm telling you, every time I watch it, I just giggle from the bottom of my belly to my whole face. I just feel it because it's hilarious. And I think that when I think about fun, I think that's what you're supposed to feel, this really deep feeling that makes your whole body feel good, and you're lighter, you feel better, you just almost go back to your childhood when you had no cares or worries in the world and you could giggle and roll all over the ground. So to me, that's what fun represents when I think about playing games and watching that Dirty Rotten Scoundrel with Steve. What's his name? Steve
Martin.
Steve
Martin. Yes.
Awesome. How about you, Janet? What do you think of when you think of the word fun?
So I feel what it does when I'm in fun or fun is happening, it's a instant connection to what is right now. You're not planning to actually have a laugh, right? You're not thinking of your next sentence. It's just there's engagement, there's connection, and then there's this participation, this release of humor. And to me, I think it's just there's a lot of lightness to it. There's no preemptiveness of forcing something actually to happen. You're just in it to receive it, right? It's like poof, it's like a gift. It's a gift actually.
Cool. So yeah, so it's right now.
Yeah, it's presented as right now, and then the natural reaction is just that you're wholeheartedly in it. And it just feels beautiful. It feels light. It feels very alive.
Cool. What you, Lorraine?
Yes, I quite agree with Janet. It is a spontaneous, fun is for me is a spontaneous reaction to something, and laughing, and for no apparent reason, but it's right in the now. I remember Nikki when she was what, 5, Flynn, when she were visiting me in Buena Vista, and she was putting on this puppet show. She had written this puppet show, and I sat. There was something funny, and she did a good job for the age that she was doing it, and the imagination she put into it. I was just killing myself laughing. It was the now that stimulated that uh, laughter, and I was like, tears running down my face. So it is the instant fun is that instant moment of the now that something strikes you and you just have to laugh.
Got it. Yes. How about you, Olive?
And thinking as I've listened to everybody else, I think fun for me is Zumba. If the rest of you have done Zumba, it's a dance exercise class, and it's just a lot of positive energy that comes from it. That's fun for me.
Cool. That's cool. Yeah, well, when I think of the word fun, I kind of thought of fun and then playing games and humor and laughing, and how much a good in the moment belly laugh can be for our health and our wellness, and how we take care of ourselves. And often, yes, there's nothing like that feeling of comedy, or like, so what is something that's fun for you as you take more ownership for your health and your wellness, that makes you want to have more fun or have a good laugh? What is something that you think of that brings that joy to you, that enjoyment and humor to your day-to-day? Olive, you're on my screen, so I'm going to ask you first.
I think just being with people. We spent those almost 3 years for me anyway, where we weren't with people at all. And now just getting back and going to movies with friends, or going for a walk, or going to the gym, being with people. It's fun for me.
Cool. Don Marie?
I'd have to say being with friends too. There's a handful of us who are high school classmates, and after every reunion that we would all attend, we'd set a date where we would reconvene and get together and just hang out and connect. And it was so much fun to relive our high school days, and to talk about our kids, and to really get to experience then and then now, and then to compare our lives together to see where we're all at. And unfortunately, the gal who would spearhead the whole thing passed away last year. And so we're like kind of trying to figure out, what are we going to do? How are we going to keep this thing going? But I just remember those times of being together with my classmates. It was so much fun as we are all adults, and looking back on our lives, and still having that, dancing and just kicking up our heels and saying, I remember when you used to do it this way, or, we're out on the dance floor and we're all out there dancing and shaking our bodies and just having a good time.
Awesome.
So that's what it feels like to me.
Yeah. How about you, Janet?
I had 2 things that popped up. First was I get a lot of fun and entertainment out of dogs. They do some very interesting habitual things, and it just cracks me up. So spending time around animals, and then connecting with old friends, much like Dawn Marie. had indicated, I've created some little FaceTimes with some friends of mine that live, in North America. And, we have a giggle. We talk about, what we were doing 40 years ago and some of the stories that we get to say over and over again, and they never get old. And we just crack up like it was last night that it took place. And yeah, there's something very valuable about a long-term friendship that, you've had, that has been with you through the ages, through the stages kind of things of how our lives have progressed forward.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Lorraine?
Yes, I quite agree with that. I think the fun, it really relaxes me, and it just sort of makes my body feel a little bit more supple. It's when you bring up old memories, and I love meeting, staying connected with some of my friends of 60 some plus years, and remembering the times. But I think it's the feeling I get finding humor in past experiences, past relationships, and the silly things that we did, even if it was kind of really maybe on a negative side at the time, we could look at them and find a funny side to it. So, and I think that is really good for the endorphins in your body and your brain cells and your immune system. I
Yes.
did take a class here in Osoyoos a couple of years ago, and this lady got a group of people and teaching people to laugh. And there must have been about 20 of us at this little workshop that she had. And it was amazing how people couldn't laugh. And, they were very serious. They were afraid. And we had to walk around in the circle to laugh and just kind of shake our hands, introduce ourselves, and just laugh. So I learned to laugh, and I incorporated that exercise in the aquasize class that I was running in those few years ago, that we would just laugh. And nobody expected this laughter to come out of me. Kind of, what the hell are you doing? And I could do it for you, but I won't do it. I might blow the computer apart.
There you go. Well, there's nothing like a good belly laugh, right? It's interesting looking back. So one of the principles of core alignment and emotional wisdom training is looking back at the past, recognizing where we are right now, and knowing that we're always gathering more information as we go along. And often when I tell the same story, a story from the past, I will see it with new eyes from where I am now. And so, yes, even if it was a situation that maybe wasn't as fun at the time, looking back and telling that story many, many times and seeing it with new eyes can often bring a lightness and humor to the way it really was, right? And taking an outside perspective and sort of having that bird's eye view and taking coach position. So that's one of the principles of core alignment, is to take coach position and look back as we create more. So what way can you bring humor more into your life now? Janet?
I think, there's certain circumstances or situations that maybe at the time weren't humorous, but if you can recount them, in a story and in a frame that it was just an event that took place and there were some fun elements about it. Not to be, I'm going to say today, for example, I went down to Heritage Meadows, and I had a friend with me that was helping, return stuff. And I was sitting in the car, and I went back to the car early, and I turned the car on because the windshield was dirty from the snow, and the car wouldn't turn over. And so I called AMA, and then as I'm talking to AMA, I looked in front of me, and there was a gentleman who was in the Jeep in front of me, sitting, obviously waiting for somebody. And then there was a very vacant spot right beside me. And I put AMA on hold, and I said, I think there's someone here that can help me right now. And she says, "Oh, I'm not busy. I'll just wait." And I put the phone down, and within 5 or 6 minutes, my car was up and started again. And I didn't go into the conclusion of, the wrongness of, oh, I could be here for 2 hours. It was like, okay, make the phone call, and then had my eyes open, and I went, and I really wasn't invested in either outcome. It's just that I saw an opportunity. So to me, that was actually a fun or a funny circumstance that it only impeded my day for a few minutes, and then having to take it on the highway a little longer to recharge it. So just not getting set in what was, or the limitations of how something shows up. And so it turned, and he was very pleasant, and I offered to buy he and his wife coffees, and she was still shopping, but no, it was just, so it was just
That's a
turned into a
beautiful
very
example.
turned into a very nice
Yeah.
experience, right? And it was very fluid. It was very, very fluid.
Cool. That's cool. It's a good story. How about you, Lorraine? What way can you bring more humor?
Well, I think just continuing to find the funny side of life. Isn't there a song? There's the funny side of life. The Jungle Book.
Yeah.
And rather than sweat over things that aren't working well, just laugh at them. And thank goodness, I can do that and find, and it certainly makes your body feel a lot better.
Mm,
Mm, mm, mm. How about you, Don Marie?
mm. Well, could you repeat the question? I kind of,
Yeah. What's a way that you can
Um,
bring more humor into your life?
well, I would have to say, I came into this new year without any preset or pre-ideas on what I wanted to do, besides just being present, kind of walking in love and being in forgiveness. And I think when I think about where I'm at in this second month of almost this third quarter of the new year, so far I've done well. I've not had any issues that have rocked my world. I've been able to talk myself out of a situation that could have been full blown, but I just have told myself, I'm not going to entertain nonsense. I'm not going to entertain letting people or situations steal my joy. I want to keep this feeling that I said I wanted to have for this new year as long as I can into this new year. So just being mindful and, doing my breathing and meditating to remind myself, you said you were going to stay in this space here. And I think for me, that's going to really help me to stay centered, to walk in love, to feel good about my body, even though, I'm sitting a lot. I feel like I've put on 10 pounds since the new year has started, but it's okay. I'm gonna work it off. I got the rest of the year to work it off. So just being grateful for where I'm at and what my decisions are to live my best life from here forward. So that's what's going to bring me a lot of joy this year.
Awesome. Beautiful. Olive?
I think I can be more spontaneous. Just laugh when something seems funny, not worry about if other people are laughing or if it's an inappropriate time to laugh. Just laugh when I feel like it.
God. Awesome. Lorraine?
I think like everybody is saying, is just that you have to find a funny side of things, and take it with a grain of salt if it's and not allow heaviness to come into your thinking, and just feel good, and just carry on with that good feeling.
Yeah. Yes. Awesome. Yeah, well, the way that I will bring more humor into my life. Well, I'm going to go back with memory and looking back at the past. And I did so many calls with Kate Michaels over the last, golly sakes, 10 years or more. And she was my mentor, my teacher, and a colleague. And she had the best laugh. And every call that I was on with her, there was always her laugh. And so just remembering the sound of her laugh, it's like always there with me, even though she's not here anymore. And so I just can think about her laugh and her voice. And that to me brings more humor. And so all these conversations, the bazillion conversations that I had with her or was on, and all the laughter that came from those conversations can bring more humor into my life. And I think it's making things lighter. It's like not taking things too seriously, being more spontaneous, and not taking myself so seriously, because I can get really serious. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, Miss Serious walking around all the time. So what will you take with you that'll support you for the rest of your life, Lorraine?
I think.
Oh, sorry, until we meet again.
Until we meet.
Again.
Oh, what I'll
Sorry.
take away until we meet again. I think it's just the what's come out of today's conversation, and to acknowledge that life is a bowl of cherries. As long as they're not rotten.
Right?
Janet?
What I'll take away today until we meet again is that there's always an opportunity to inject more humor. It's just a choice, or a willingness and openness to see it, to catch it. Every once in a while, I'll be wearing a dress that's kind of flowy, or it has a little like weave to it, and the handles at the condo here, they're not circle handles. They're handles that are like a they crank up. And I had this also at another house not too long ago, and I was always getting an outfit or two caught, and it used to aggravate me. And then I would just say, okay, slow her down there, Newt. It was like something in the universe was telling me to stop my trajectory or slow down or whatever. And I just basically, instead of getting irritated, I just put it into humor. Like, is there something there was supporting me and guiding me to just pivot. So there's always, it's just a matter of how we look at it. We can reframe it into humor.
Yeah.
Awesome. Dawn Marie?
Yeah, I like that, reframing it into humor, because sometimes we're, like you said, Lynn, we're so serious that we have to kind of pull ourselves out of that seriousness to get back and say, it really wasn't that big of a deal. So if we can find that happy place, and the stories that I heard today, I'm going to interject that into the rest of my week until we meet again, because I want to be lighthearted. I don't want to be heavy with issues of anything. I just want to have a good time. And so this opportunity today is going to be that reminder to me, chill. It's all good. He's got it. Just stay present and let it evolve, and stay happy, and be the best person that you can be when you're around others, and try to live your best life, because tomorrow's not promised. So I'm gonna hold on to reframing my humor. Thank you for that.
Olive?
I'm going to look for the fun in every day. Doesn't have to be a big extravagant event to have fun. So that's what'll get me through the next week.
Yeah. Lorraine, did I?
Yeah.
I started with you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what I
Yes.
will take with me that'll support me till we meet again is, to not sweat the small stuff, I think, is what comes up for me. I've had a little bit of a heavy day today, and it was like, oh my God. So I'm so grateful to be on this call because it reminds me that I'm not as, get out of my seriousness here. So what will you take with you that'll support you for the rest of your life, Lorraine?
I think it just continuing on to be a happy person and look at life as it comes to us and not be serious, and just remember there are nice people out there to talk to.
Right.
Yes. Janet?
What I'll take from today's conversation for the rest of my life is that there's always a choice and invitation for more fun and humor, no matter what the situation, circumstance is. There are no rainy days, and if they are, they're a gift.
Mhm,
Awesome.
mhm.
Don Marie?
What I will take away from today that will support me for the rest of my life is being present and living your best life. I had someone tell me over the weekend that she didn't know me, but whenever she would see me on Zoom, I would just exude something. And I didn't even realize that. I am just trying to live my best life, be present, and provide positiveness when I can. And so when she told me that, it reminded me that, you know, we never know what our presence will bring to someone else. And if we can be lighthearted and be happy and not be so tense, we may set somebody free. So I think just being in that mindset of, when you go out, be happy, don't be all uptight, smile at someone. A smile can melt 1,000, issues on a person if you smile at them and you get that eye contact. And I think that's really important to carry on and just be able to be that light to guide someone out of their darkness with whatever you do. So
Awesome. Thank you. Olive?
What I will take to support me for the rest of my life is to always look for the fun in a situation, the fun and the humor.
Awesome. Well, what I will take with me that'll support me for the rest of my life. Yeah, there's nothing like a good belly laugh. And I think of Madeline. She's not here today, but she's my humorous partner in crime here. So she's always got a good laugh to offer and a good story to offer. So I'm going to, just take away the presence and the possibility of reframing things and interjecting more humor. So thank you all for coming and showing up. And
Yeah,
we'll
well,
see you
thank
next
you.
week.
Yeah, thank you, Lynn. That was been great. And next week we're going to focus on imagine and imagination.
Mm.
Okay.